Yo, yo, yo. What up, what up, what up, my bet and family? We back with another video here at No Limit Bets for the NBA slate of March 14th, 2023. Before we get started, though, as always, I would like to say good morning to y'all, good afternoon, whatever time it may be that you're watching this video. Hope y'all having a good one, and hopefully we can make it a better day by winning some money. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe, man. It's truly appreciated. We're currently on the road to 500 subscribers, and we're 40 subscribers away from hitting that mark. So I definitely appreciate all the love and support that you guys have shown thus far. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into today's video. I'm going to be bringing y'all my top 6 picks of tonight's NBA slate of games. Just to do a quick recap of yesterday's picks that we did submit, it was a losing day. We were only able to go 2 and 3 on our 6 picks that we did post, with Sengun ending up as a DNP. The 2 that we were able to hit, we were able to call the under on Draymond Green's 9 points. He only ends up with 4. And then we were able to call the over on Trae Young's points and assists prop of 36.5. He had a monster game. He hits this with points just alone, as he had 41 points and 7 assists. Now, the 3 that weren't able to hit, we had Tyler Hero over 20.5 points. He only ends up with 18. He did have a 3 to possibly, get us to the 21-point mark with about 30 seconds left in the game, but he ends up missing it and comes up short with only 18 points. Devin Booker went over his points prop as he ended up with, I believe, 32 points, but we took the over on his PRA line, which he didn't do much of rebounding and assists, and we come up short with that as well. And then the last one, Jaren Jackson, I don't think I'm going to be betting on him anymore or picking him. He's just too prone to fouls. He tends to get into foul trouble a lot. And I did mention in yesterday's video, the only thing that could hold him back from getting that 20.5 points that we took over was getting into foul trouble. And sure enough, he gets into foul trouble and only ends up with 8 points. So from now into the foreseeable future, I'm not going to be picking no more Jaren Jackson props or betting on him. But 2 and 3 day, losing day, like I mentioned, we definitely look to bounce back today and get back to our winning ways. So let's go ahead and hop into my top 6 picks of tonight's NBA slate of games. For my first pick, I'm going to be going to a points and assists category. And I'm going to be going down to the Raptors and Nuggets game. And I'm going to be taking Fred VanVleet over 26.5 points. Now, these two teams did play each other about a week ago. I think it was like 8 days ago. And he did hit over this line and then with 35 points and assists, as he ends up scoring 21 points and getting 14 assists. So he had a big game. Overall this season, the Nuggets have struggled to guard opposing point guards, as they're allowing the 4th most points per game and the most assists per game to opposing point guards. I don't think anything will change for tonight's game. This is why I like this spot for VanVleet. So I'm going to be taking him over 26.5 points and assists. For my second pick, I'm going to go to the points and rebounds category. I'm going to be going down to the Lakers and Pelicans game, and I'm going to be taking Anthony Davis over 39.5 points and rebounds. Now, I expect a big game from AD tonight. He's going back to his old stomping grounds, and they really need him, to have a big game. He's had 2 very poor performances against the Knicks and Toronto, their last 2 games, only averaging 12 points and 12 rebounds for a total of 24 points and rebounds. But I like this as a bounce back. In three earlier matchups this season against the Pelicans, AD is averaging in those 3 games 27.3 points per game and 13.3 rebounds for a total of 40.6 points and rebounds. Now, one note: in all those 3 games, LeBron did play. Obviously, there's going to be no LeBron tonight, which should put a little bit more of the scoring load on AD. And like I said, I just expect this to be a big game, a bounce back spot for him. So I'm going to be taking him for my second pick over 39.5 points and rebounds. For my third pick, I'm going to go to the PRA prop. I'm going to be going down to the Spurs and Magic game, and I'm going to be taking Paolo Banchero over 31.5 PRAs. Now, as you guys can see, over his last 5, he's been playing pretty well, averaging 35 PRAs, hitting the over in 4 of those last 5 games. The lone one that he did miss was against Milwaukee, which obviously there's no shame in that. Milwaukee is one of the top defensive teams in the league. But against the Spurs is a totally different story. Spurs are one of the worst, if not the worst, defensive team in the league. They're also allowing the 3rd most points per game, the 2nd most rebounds per game, and the 8th most assists per game to opposing power forwards. So I definitely like this matchup for him. And in their earlier matchup this season against these 2 teams, the Magic ended up winning by 20. Banchero only plays 29 minutes, which is 5 minutes below his season average. And he ends up with 28 PRAs with 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. So I don't see this being a blowout. Hopefully it's not. But if it's not, I expect Banchero to get his regular minutes, if not more, than his season average. And I definitely expect him to go over 31.5 PRA. So I'm going to be rocking with him for my 3rd pick. For my 4th pick, I'm going to be going to the points category. I'm going to be taking the first square on the board, and I'm going to be taking Darius Garland over 21.5 points against the Charlotte Hornets. Now, over his last 5, he's averaging 24 points, going over in 3 of those 5 games. He did miss one on the hook against Detroit with 21, and then scored only 17 points against the Celtics. Now, in the 2 games this season versus the Hornets, he's crushed this line, as in the earliest game this season, or the earliest matchup, he had 41 points. And in their last matchup a couple nights ago, he had 28 points. Now, this is a back-to-back between these 2 teams. As we know, Charlotte, they're really not a great defensive team. They play little to no defense. They like to get up and down. And I expect this to stay competitive. Hopefully it's not a blowout as well. And Darius Garland has had a good trend, good history playing the Hornets. He's hit this over in 5 of his last 6 games against them. In those 6 games, he scored 27 points, 16 points, 33, 41, and 28. So I like this spot for him. So this is the reason why I'm going to be rocking with him for my 4th pick. For my 5th pick, I'm going to be going to a fantasy score category. I really don't take a lot of fantasy score props, but I really like this one. I'm going to be going down to the OKC and Nets game, and I'm going to be taking Nicholas Claxton over 33.5 fantasies score. Now, as you guys can see, he's averaging 36.5 over his last 5, going over in 4 out of those 5 games. The lone one missing was against Boston, which again is really no shame in that. Boston is one of the top teams in the NBA. Now, OKC for the season, as we know, has somewhat, they've really struggled against opposing centers, as they're allowing the 5th most rebounds per game. I know Claxton is not much of a passer, or assister, but OKC also do allow the second most assists per game to opposing point guards. As far as in points per game, they're pretty much middle of the pack in the league, and points per game allowed to opposing center. But the reason why I like this score, I expect this to be a very competitive game. I think the point spread is only like 2 points or 3 points, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but it should be a competitive game. And with Claxton, he also brings it in defensive end. He gets block shots, he gets steals, which is all accumulated in the fantasy score, as we all know. And obviously, I kind of expect him to get a double in this game. So I like the spot for him. So I'm gonna be taking Nicholas Claxton over 33.5 fantasy score for my 5th pick. And for my 6th and last pick, I'm going to be going back to the PRA prop, and I'm going to go down to one of the latest game, if not the latest game, in Portland against the Knicks. And I'm going to be taking RJ Barrett over 30 PRAs. Now, over his last 5, he's been playing pretty well. As you guys can see, he's averaging 33.2 PRA over his last 5, going over in 4 out of those 5 games. The one he missed was against the Clippers. That was a totally off game. He only ends up with 14 PRAs. Now, one of the main reasons why I like this is in 4 or actually in 6 games this season without Brunson, I believe Brunson is most likely going to be out for this game as well. So in 6 games thus far this season without Brunson in the lineup, he's hit this over in 4 out of those 6 games. And the games that he has been over, he's been crushing this line. I do want to exclude one of them. One of the ones that he did miss, he ends up with 0 stats. He only plays 2 minutes. I believe that was a game he got hurt early in the game. So I kind of want to exclude that. And then the other one that he did miss was, like I just mentioned, against the Clippers, where he only ends up with 14 PRAs. In the other 4 games, should I say, that he did go over, he had 42 PRAs, 43 PRAs, 40 PRAs, and in their most recent one against the Lakers, he had 38 PRAs. So he's been going well above this line when he does go over, and I do expect him to do so, as Portland here recently has been allowing a lot of points scored. They've been just pretty defensively. They're just been pretty much not a great team. So I like this spot for him. It's either going to be RJ Barrett or Julius Randle, pretty much taking most of the shots, as they're the top 2 options on this team without Brunson in the lineup. So that's going to be it for my top 6 picks. I'm going to be taking the over on all of my picks for tonight's NBA slate of games. As always, if you agree with any of my plays, please do your own research. Just don't take my word for it. And here at No Limit Bets, we like to go with the low risk, high reward, and pretty much go with a $5 bet for the possibility of winning the 125. So that's going to be it for today's video, y'all. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the games tonight, and we'll be back here tomorrow. Let's get this money.